Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I won't give back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
And we are rolling in, going free. Don't forget, today is Dragon Mondays. That's why we're here. We're stopping by. I raced like a demon, chased by demons. How's my microphone, by the way? Does it sound rich and beautiful as I am? I was chased by demons to get here in time to remind everybody that today is Dragon Mondays. Mondays are for the dragons. You want to make sure that you are with Yiz, the eunuch and unifier, today at 6 p.m. over on her channel. And if she's with us, she will share. And if she's not with us and not able to share, I will share the thumbnail that she has up for her show, which is going to be one of her chill streams because her computer is still being worked on, I think, but it's going to be wonderful. Thank you all for the feedback. Audio sounds great. Foster, Anglo-Saxon, Azimuth Clark, Franklin, magnificent to see you all here. Amma was here first, it looks like. Congratulations. You are the winner today, the big winner today. And thank you for being here. Thank everybody for being here. And we are going to quickly get into this article after 6 to whatever time it's going to be tonight that she's going to have one of her laid back streams. Be there, chat with her, give her tips, give her suggestions, whatever it might be. Bring up topics that you'd like to hear from her, and talk about white well-being. It's going to be a magnificent stream, as her streams always are. So make sure you're over there at her channel at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight. At 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. You want to be over at Cornelius Newland's channel over there on YouTube. So let me see if I can just go ahead and grab both of these right now so that I can drop them both in our live chat, and there won't be any doubt, so you all can take them down. It'll be here right at the beginning of the stream. And let's see. So we have, there is that Yiz. I think that one is Yiz. And then here is, I believe this one is for no. It looks like Yiz has shown up. Okay, so there you go. And I think that is for null. So those are the two streams that you want to make sure that you are here for. 6 p.m. for Yiz the Eunuch and Unifier's Dragon stream tonight, Chill Dragon stream. And then for nulls at 8 p.m. They're both epically glorious. You want to become a part of this growing community, this rapidly growing community. And we look forward to seeing you all over there. I'm going to jump right into this article. And how did I end up reading this article in the first place? Well, somebody by the name of Nadi Alba reached out to me and merely asked, and that I cover it. And so you ask and you receive. This is, of course, a startling thing. I am joined today by a groundhog. So everything should go well over the course of this gathering. Unlocking your energy. Jason, please buy some slim fit ties and get your shirts tailored. Well, I would, if I'm rich, I could do that. But I look magnificent in my shirts, and especially these, because these are the more expensive ones that I have to save up for, because, and only have a few as a consequence, because I am muscled in the areas that a man should be muscled, and I am narrow in the areas that a man should be narrow. And the vast 98% of shirts are not cut that way. So to do any better than this is multiple $100 tailoring, and Jason doesn't have a pot to piss in. And my ties are also epically glorious. I don't know what style you're thinking of tie. The really narrow ones that guys who wear loafers were wearing. Are you thinking of that? Waylon Smithers is here. Great to see you. Rory is here. Groundhog lives do matter, and we do have my groundhog co-host. He is carefully watching in and making sure that everything goes well. Let us jump on over, because we're already at 21, nearly 22 minutes. But I will also take questions and comments as we roll. But we have here the RAF pauses job offers for white men. That sounds like banning to me. That sounds like banning. That's my opinion, that when you stop offering jobs to white males, that sounds like you're banning them, in my opinion. Now, we know what's curious about this. It's born out of the hubris of the anti-whites. And it's a good thing that anti-whites have become so powerful in our societies that indeed we got to see, if you remember me discussing, and this is a very important understanding of what's going on in our world today, is we did not know, and we talked about this prior to COVID, we did not know how many nodes of power anti-whites control. And in fact, I've given speeches on this, and it was an impossible thing to know until we had the summer anti-white terrorism in the streets. And we saw that when people were harmed, when businesses were destroyed, when monuments were destroyed, when halls of records were set ablaze, when churches were set ablaze, we discovered that we did not have recourse. Those victims did not have recourse to for what had been done to them. Everywhere that they reached out for help, they were stymied, and they had no one to go to after that. because the nodes of power were held by anti-whites. So they just said, well, oh well, that happened to you. Oh well, insurance will pay for it. Oh, well, but my insurance is going to drop me. Oh well, you're white. And even to the point of governors in the United States saying, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and congressmen and women, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm going to help my constituents who have reached out to my offices. And they then reached out to the nodes of power that, if those nodes were held by people who were impartial, regrettably, that has been white people who are not anti-white. And you see here in this story a woman here who resigns. It says here in the title, the alleged move has prompted the head of recruitment for the Royal Air Force, RAF, herself a female officer, to resign in recent days. This is the dumbest thing that white people can do. White people need to, number one, acknowledge that we are victimized on the basis of our race. Number two, and that's essentially what this woman is doing. Number two, stay in power and use your position to advance white well-being. This is asininity in the extreme, and it has been sold to the white population across Western civilization as the means to cure a wrong, to say that you're so disgruntled, you're so upset, you're so offended that you will just walk away from the ugliness. Well, that has been ass backward. And if there are any people out there, any white people out there still suggesting that that's the way to go, I submit to you that these people are antiquated, superannuated, and ready for the grave. And we hope that they naturally get there as soon as possible. Anyone else saying it is anti-white. They want you to surrender power to anti-white so that they can inflict more injury. This was an idiotic thing this female officer did, and she should feel ashamed for walking away from this. She should have stayed in her position of authority. She should have been a whistleblower. She should have done everything she could to stand up for white men in the RAF. This is a sign of the power of anti-whiteism and the anti-whites, the hubris at which they have reached in their underhanded, demonic poisoning of Western civilization, that they can now just openly say what they have been doing for 5 decades, what they've already been doing for 5 decades or more. And that is denying white people, persecuting, prosecuting, ruining the lives of white people by blocking their entrance to university, by blocking their doctorates, by blocking the jobs that they would like to hold, by blocking their raises and promotions, by white erasing them, diversity firing them, diversity selection, diversity rejection, diversity hire, diversity fire. We are always the people that are victimized. And indeed, the point is to victimize us. And then you have these collateral beneficiaries, most of whom are wonderful people, non-white people, people of privileged groups that they call victim groups and things, most of whom are wonderful people. And these are the collateral beneficiaries of the victimization of the white race. RAF pauses job offers for white men, or RAF bans white men to meet impossible diversity targets, according to Deborah Haynes, security and defense editor at Sky News. The alleged move has prompted the head of recruitment for the Royal Air Force, herself a senior female officer, to resign in recent days in protest. I hope, in all honesty, that, it's awful, but it's going to happen anyhow, that the white males who have worked their whole lives to get into these positions, who could have been great defenders of the UK, who could have been great airmen, who could have done wonderful things, who could have had marvelous families, etc., because of these wonderful careers, they're not going to be getting these jobs. So I'm going to go ahead and say, since they're already not going to be getting their jobs, that I hope this program continues indefinitely. I hope the anti-whites decide, no, only privileged groups, which are what they call victim groups, and only non-white people are going to, and females are going to be allowed to hold positions in the Royal Air Force, because we need this sort of salience in the face of white people so they will stop being such gullible, booby twit losers. And they will stop with these proxy positions that, oh, it's about Christianity. Oh, it's about our freedom of speech. Oh, it's just about, no, it's about victimizing you, dumbass. And until you man up and acknowledge that this is about victimizing Western kind and destroying Western civilization, you have no hope. You have no hope. You deserve to be working at Starbucks rather than flying that ace fighter jet that you wanted to fly. Man up. The head of RAF recruitment has resigned in protest at an effective pause on offering jobs. We're going to have an effective pause on allowing white people to breathe in the near future is a guess. Offering jobs to white male recruits in favor of women and ethnic minorities, defense sources have claimed. What we need them to do at the RAF is also have an effective permanent pause on recruiting white women. Because what's happening there is they're saying, oh, white girls, you can keep coming in. We'll keep making you pilots. We'll keep giving you the big salaries, the fame, et cetera, that you can take on to your next job where you can make big money. And as a consequence, white women will just shit all over the white race. They're like, I mean, they've been doing it now for half a century easily. They're like, really? I don't have to be victimized like the white guys and my white son and my white father and my white husband. I don't have to be victimized. I can live large. Yeah, I'm a part of that. Well, that's what they're doing here in the RAF. Senior female officer apparently handed in her notice in recent days amid concern that any such restrictions on hiring, however temporary and limited, could undermine the fighting strength of the Royal Air Force, the sources said. Never a good enough excuse. Don't be a cuck-servative. Rank and file conservatives, good people. Patriots, rank and file, good people. Leadership scum. They're going to tell you, we need to talk about the fighting strength of our Air Force. And we don't have, our Air Force is just not strong when we don't take the absolute best. Shut up. They said the service was attempting to hit impossible diversity targets. The defense sources accused. Now remember, when they say that they have a diversity target, that means there are diversity fires. That means that there are diversity rejections. You are the diversity fire. You are the diversity rejection. You got it? Diversity means fewer white people. And when something is completely diverse, there are no white people. The defense sources accused Air Chief Marshal Sir Mike Wigston, the head of the RAF, of appearing willing to compromise UK security at a time of growing threat from Russia and China in pursuit, albeit important goals, such as improving diversity and inclusion. I mean, if you are going to accept this author right here, Haynes, this female, if you accept anti-white morality, you're done. You cannot argue inside of their moral framework, inside their anti-white narrative, and succeed in putting an end to the victimization of Western kind. So, honey, you're going to have to knock this off, or there's no hope for you. Albeit these are important goals. Our security is that. Don't anybody say, if anybody says that the security of the RAF, I mean, it's like an IQ test. You're just demonstrating that you're an idiot. One of the defense sources noted how General Sir Patrick Sanders, the head of the Army, has likened today's security challenges to those in the build-up to the Second World War, warning that the UK is facing its 1937 moment. Once again, I mean, I have some pity for these white people. They're growing up inside of the anti-white narrative. Many of them are, especially higher-ranking folks, are boomers, and they're in this old world that was all white, and they keep moving away from anti-whiteism, and they think it's still, they don't watch the TV anymore because it's not Opie and Andy, so they've just sequestered themselves away from anti-whiteism, and they think it's still 1950 or 60 or whatever, so they come up with these stupid arguments, these proxy position. It's a proxy position to say that this is about attacking the readiness of the Royal Air Force at a time that we need it. That's a proxy position. That is what a coward does. And you wouldn't think that would come from military types, but some of them are the biggest cowards. By the way, let me really quickly acknowledge yesterday after we wrapped up the Going Free Gathering, which was magnificent. If you missed it, it's on the platform. It's on all the platforms. Check it out. You should become a part of it. 5 p.m. on Sundays, every Sunday, Eastern Time, 5 p.m. for 4.5 hours. Be a part of the revolution of thought for white well-being. Coming in on Cash App was Asking Alice, financially gifting $3. Thank you so very much, Alice. Asking Alice, she financially gifted $3, and she said, this is for Jason using the word phantasmagorical. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And she's got a smiley face with some shades on it. $3 financial gift. Asking Alice, if you see her around, tell her we acknowledged her here over on this roll-in. That's beautiful. $3 for saying, this is for Jason using the word phantasmagorical. Yes, I think I did use that yesterday. And we also had, coming in just late, just right after the show, after the gathering, the Going Free Gathering ended, that a $10 financial gift from Shannon. And Shannon writes with those $10, thank you so very much. $10, save our white baby dollars. 10 save our white baby dollars from Shannon. She says, okay, well, she actually shares a name that will link that first name and another name on the live streams, on threads. So I won't be reading that. I don't want to link those, even though it probably wouldn't matter since it's just a first name. But thank you so very much for those 10 save our white baby dollars from Shannon. Again, Alice and Shannon were yesterday, just after we wrapped up the gathering, which was glorious, as they all are. Today at 6 p.m., Yiz the Eunuch and Unifier, the first of our Dragon shows, will be airing over on her channel. She'll be able to drop the link to that. I did a little earlier at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The great Fournull with his Dragon show. Mondays are for the Dragons. This is where you come for that fun, the talk, the music, the ideas, the laughter, the beautiful imagery. It's all there on Dragon Mondays. You want to be a part of it. And I am here merely to direct you all to that. Thank you all very, very much. And let me just go ahead. You may financially gift on Cash App, Odyssey, or Entropy, as is always. I'll take a look while we're rolling just to make sure I didn't miss anybody, but we're going to keep going. The other thing I'm going to say right now, Tuesdays, Jason Goes Political, 7 p.m. I'm in a full studio. I've got televisions behind me. It's magnificent. It is breathtaking. You will lose your breath. It's so breathtaking. After Jason Goes Political, which I might start maybe a little early, maybe just 15 minutes early, at 8:30 Eastern Time, I will be appearing with I Hypocrite over on his channel on YouTube. And great guy, first time talking to him. And we're going to be talking strategy of dealing with anti-whites in debate. Make sure you do not miss that either. We'll continue here. Then you look, quote, then you look at the head of the RAF, and he's prepared to break the operational requirement of the Air Force just to meet diversity targets, the source said. Of course, because anti-whiteism is an illness. Anti-whiteism is psychological warfare waged against Western kind and Western civilization. Nothing is more important than anti-whiteism. Nothing to the anti-whites. And since they control the nodes of power, saying, what's the security of our country? That sort of thing would have mattered in the past. It doesn't matter anymore. It hasn't mattered in a long time. Anti-whiteism comes first. That's why anti-whiteism has to be defeated. It is the great evil of our age. Quote, I think he needs to be hauled up by the Ministry of Defense and told, this is the defense agenda, get on it. The recruitment claims prompted a response from Sunak, one of the two contenders vying to be the UK's next prime minister. A spokesperson for Sunak's leadership campaign said, quote, "The only thing that should matter in recruitment is the content of your character." No. What an idiot. Quoting Martin Luther King. What an absolute imbecile. The only thing that matters in recruitment is the content of your character. No, what should matter in the defense of your country is who are the best fighting men available, not the content of your character. My God, how long do we have to live in this hellscape? And then this person goes on to say, not your sex or the color of your skin. Of course, race is not skin deep. That the Ministry of Defense would allow Britain's security to potentially be put at risk by a drive for so-called diversity, like we're for real diversity, not this so-called diversity. We're for the real. We are hardcore anti-whites here at the RAF. We want tons of diversity. So all you white people, hit the road. It's not only disgraceful, it's dangerous. So they keep going back to the same point. The RAF spokes, what's it like to be the only thinking people? How about this? What's it like to be the only seeing people in a world of the blind? The RAF spokesperson disputed the allegations. There's no pause in Royal Air Force recruitment and no new policy with regard to meeting in-year recruitment requirements, the spokesperson lied. Royal Air Force commanders will not shy away from the challenges we face building a service that attracts and recruits talent from every part of the UK workforce. Now, remember, they have been discriminating against white males for as long as we've been alive, as our parents have been alive, as our grandparents have been alive. But they've done it under anti-white pretexts that sounded good, especially to white women, so that white women would browbeat the shit out of their men and get us to submit to these pretexts. We've seen the consequences in our families, and these same white women and then white men who are led around by their noses by their women just shrug their shoulders. Oh well, guess that's why I became an alcoholic, working down at the plant and ended up killing himself slowly with drugs. Oh well, guess that's the way it happens. The Royal Air Force has a well-earned reputation for operational excellence that is founded on the quality of our people. We will always seek to recruit the best talent available to us. What liars. But another of the defense sources insisted that there has been an effective pause on making an offer of employment to white male recruits. Also responding to questions from Sky News on the issue, a spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense said, operational effectiveness is of paramount importance and no one is lowering the standards to join the Royal Air Force. Of course, nothing but thieving, lying scum. The RAF recruits for many professions and like the rest of the armed forces, is determined to be a force that reflects the society it serves to protect. No, why are you considering the race and sex of people who are there to perform a job? It's the reason why it's anti-whiteism. So we need to accept that's what they're doing and defend ourselves on that basis. Forget about all of these other ancillary subjects and these proxy positions. Neither spokesperson addressed the resignation of the head of RAF recruitment. No shit. Well, we don't know why she quit. It's just the strangest thing. The RAF does not typically comment on individuals. Oh, sure. And then get this, the next header here. Wokefulness or woefulness? My God, what is wrong with white people? What in the is wrong with white people? What's woeful is how dumb and gullible white people are. Successive governments have been challenging all three armed services, the RAF, the Army, and the Royal Navy, for years to improve their diversity statistics, get rid of white people, in what has traditionally been a predominantly white male profession. Well, that means it's evil. White men are in. This is, let's say, do you see what I'm saying? Anti-whiteism destroys everything in the West. under the banner of anti-whiteism, under the banner of victimizing Western kind. They will get rid of your Magna Carta. They will get rid of everything because white people. That is why good people of all immutable characteristics have to come together to put an end to anti-whiteism before it puts an end to us all. It's been dominated by white males, so therefore we have to white erase it. It is a goal championed by defense chiefs. If that's a goal championed by defense chiefs, then they're not doing their job. And I think that sort of treason is something that they should be brought up on charges for. And if found guilty, then given the punishment for military personnel who are treasonous to their country. And I would apply the standards of wartime to it. And so I believe that is very often to shoot them, summarily shoot them out in the field if found guilty. Admiral Sir Tony Radakin, the head of the armed forces, used his first public speech in post last December to stress the importance of striving for better anti-whiteism. He says diversity. Translated, striving for better anti-whiteism. This force is not anti-white enough, Radakin said. We need to get rid of more white people, specifically white males, so we can continue to have the white females on our side. He said this was not, quote, about wokefulness. It is about woefulness. The woefulness of too few women. Can you believe this? Oh my God. The woefulness of too few women, the woefulness not reflecting the ethnic, religious, and cognitive diversity of our nation. You mean like functional retards? Is that what you're talking? That's what you want? You want more of those in positions of authority? The woefulness of not reflecting the ethnic, religious, having too few women. Boy, we are absolutely in hell. This guy is 100% guilty of treason, in my opinion. He should be tried for treason in wartime, and then, if found guilty, punished appropriately. The MOD has announced it. He is, as the Admiral, Sir Tony Radakin, at war with Western kind. He right now is at war with Western kind. He wants to make sure that white males, competent white males that have worked their asses off, that deserve the job, that have paid their dues, that they don't get guns and reputations and in their hands, and that they don't build a living and a career and have power. He is making sure that that's not happening. He wants to make sure that anti-white women and that ethnic minorities and the cognitively diverse people are the ones with the guns and the money and the reputation and building careers and etc. So he is at war. He is at war with the white race. The MOD has announced it aims to increase the ratio of female recruits coming into the armed forces in general to 30%. And you know what? They're not going to be restricting the entrance of non-white males. One iota. The only people that will be prevented from joining will be the ones that you can legally and morally discriminate against, and that is white males. Can you legally and morally discriminate against non-whites in our once great United Kingdom? No. Can you morally do that? No. You can only do it against white males. That'll be the people suffering from this. Recruits coming into the armed forces in general to 30% by 2030 from around 12%. So it doesn't matter that women obviously don't want to do that as a whole. They don't want to have that job as a whole, but they're going to go out there and they're going to push them into maybe if they put an oven in the cockpit, you'll get more ladies in there. Stop complaining. Yet the RAF must also hire enough people in the right trades to meet its operational inflow requirements. The number of new personnel needed to ensure the service can carry out the full range of tasks that has been given to help keep the United Kingdom and its allies safe. A challenge thought to be encountered by recruitment officers is that women and ethnic minorities, so non-whites, don't ever call them minorities, for fuck's sake, do not typically seek to join certain areas of the service, such as the RAF's infantry force that protects airfields. Hiring white men who may apply ensures those vital roles are filled. So, and then it says, but at the expense of diversity numbers. So you see how this works. And this is already how, and we're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes, 5 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, comments, financial gifts, make them happen. But you see what's happening, and this has been happening now across Western civilization for many decades. And that is the best jobs that the best people, not always, often you have cronies hooking each other up and that sort of thing, but that has nothing to do with race. But the best jobs with the best pay often have the best people in those jobs. Those are the jobs targeted by anti-whites. They want to get white males out of those jobs and then find collateral beneficiaries to sit in those places. If you doubt me for 1 minute that this is about victimizing white people and then finding a collateral beneficiary in a woman or a non-white person, you just look a couple paragraphs up where they talk about the cognitive diversity, the cognitive. They will benefit someone that couldn't possibly do the job in order to victimize you, white man. Have you had enough yet? And if you have, then you've got to go free. You got to implement the go free method in your life. This is your opportunity to make a change in yourself and in your world. You can, if you keep going with the other vehicles that are out there that have already lost to anti-whiteism, you're failing your own IQ test. So what's happening is white males are going to end up being at the very bottom of every corporation, every military fighting force, at the very bottom to do the jobs that no one wants to do. That will be all that's left to them. Now, when I say that, I shouldn't say the jobs, not just the jobs that no one wants to do, because the jobs that these people are filling, it's not for the job that they've shown up. It's for the pay. It's for the prestige. It's for the reward. It's for the acclaim. It's for its placement on your resume or your CV as you go out into the world after being in the military. That's what they want. They don't want to do the hard work of those high-paying jobs. They just want the perquisites and the pay. So they're actually saying here, right out in the open, we need to be able to hire some white men to do these jobs that no one else will do, even when we beg them, so that we can victimize white people. And unfortunately, it's at the cost of anti-whiteism. I mean, can they make it any clearer for you all? It's at the cost of diversity. Okay, well, duh, what is diversity then? I can't believe I've been explaining this for 2 decades of the 3 decades I've been in. And I still have so few people out in the world that can get it. Levels of ambition for ethnic targets are absolutely crazy. Senior leaders appear to be prioritizing diversity over operational needs, according to defense sources. Let me jump down to the end since we are running out of time. Let's see. Flying training in crisis. But at the same time, the military's flying training system, a fundamental part of a functioning Air Force, is in crisis, as revealed by Sky News earlier this month. Hundreds of junior pilots are either waiting for slots on courses to open up or taking refresher courses, even though Ben Wallace, the defense secretary, gave Air Chief Marshal Wigston the task of fixing flying training as his only priority more than 2.5 years ago. The RAF itself triggered a rare public display of internal tension last weekend. So what happens when you hire people based on race and sex rather than competence. What is our meme curative? Where there is equality, you cannot have excellence. And eventually, you can't even have competence. That holds true. It's an MC in the Go Free lexicon. Why don't you start up right now? You can get on Amazon. You can get the Go Free method. Share it with your friends. Why haven't you shared it with your friends? Do you want? Why haven't you shared it with your family? Do you want all of our countries to go down the toilet in your lifetime? Are you just hoping it happens as soon as possible? No shit, they can't get pilot training operating properly because, I don't know, Wigston is surrounded by diversity. He's not surrounded by people that can get the job done. Not surrounded by people who were hired because they can do the work. He's hired by people who are there to replace, to be the beneficiary of the victimization of the white guy that could do the work. And of course, there can be good people of all races and women as well who can be competent enough to do the work, and then they compete with everybody else to be able to get those jobs. And if they get the job and they strive and they get the job done, then they deserve to be there. But people chosen on the basis of sex and race for the work don't deserve to be there. They haven't paid their dues. We know why they're there. They're a collateral beneficiary for the victimization of a white man who should be there, who's probably now a drunkard, alcoholic, drug addict. Who knows what he's white flighting into as a consequence of these sorts of policies. Another said, if you want retention, then you need to drastically change things at all levels within the RAF. Your people are your greatest assets. Start treating them that way. After a few more unfriendly jibes, the RAF quietly deleted its own post. Well. You remember it wasn't that long ago when here in the US they decided, oh, we're going to hire air traffic controllers on the basis of race. I'm sure you all might remember that big thing, brouhaha here in the US, because those are the folks who tell the planes, you can land, you could take off, and you're flying on that strip of air, and you're flying on that strip of air. We'll see how long it takes. We'll see what ends up happening. My guess is that what's happening right now is that they are using the old timers. They are leaning on people who actually know how to do the job to help those who will never be able to do the job. And once those guys are gone, then I won't be flying much at that point, I guess. Spartan is here. Jack McDaniels is here. Great to see you both. Is that Bianca is here. Great to see you. Remember, everybody, what you're going to do now is you're going to write down, you're going to put a note in your phone. You're going to set your alarm for 1 hour from now. It will be almost 6 p.m. Eastern time. You're going to head over to Yiz, the Eunuch and Unifiers channel for the first of the Dragon shows today. Do not miss it. Please be there. I will be there, and I'll be looking for you. Say hello, participate. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern time, the great For Null at Fornelius Newland. And I put the links to both channels at the beginning of our roll-in today. His is the second Dragon show of the day. Great music, great visual, great chat, lively chat, lively audience. And for Noel popping in and out with his thoughts, wonderful. You don't want to miss either of these. Help to build community. We're running out of time. I mean, they are blatantly saying, just get rid of all the white people in the RAF. Imagine the RAF. I mean, this used to be a truly glorious institution. And one to which we all looked to and admired. And look at it now. It's like Christianity. It's like everything else in the West today. Horribly infected with anti-whiteism. Why is that? Because the people are infected with anti-whiteism. Anti-whiteism is psychological warfare waged on Western civilization. There's a remedy. There's a psychological defense. One did not exist until now. It's called the Go Free method. You need to get involved. You need to share it with your friends and family and strangers. Are you wealthy enough to buy a giant billboard to put Go Free, the book, up on the billboard, nowhiteguilt.org? Why haven't you done that? Can you put it on the side of a hot air balloon? People need to take initiative. That's how we're going to have success. That's the only way we're going to win back our destiny. Let me quickly look at what you all are saying. And over here on YouTube, No W Guilt says, hello, brother. Spitting fire as always. I appreciate it. Lane Sabatino says, hail, Jason and fam. I'm shopping in town, but I'll listen on replay. So she's shopping with no white guilt. That's amazing. Great to see you. And LG is here. Great to see you. Speed Runner is here. Great to see you. Marxia or something I saw go by just a moment ago. Great to see you and welcome. They're telling the truth in a way, says Speedrunner. They really do mean a content of character. They want people in the military who are sympathetic to their cause. That wouldn't be our character. Oh, I see. Okay. The content, right, of their ideology, that they are true anti-whites. Yeah, where's the tautology? I'm sure you mean in the anti-white argument. Lycomedes is here. Great to see you. Caleb is here. Wonderful to see you. Victorian time traveler. My dad was in the U.S. Air Force back in the 90s. He told me about how when he had female superiors, they were always making stuff up to get their subordinates in trouble. Yes. I think every male in the military can attest to that. Thank you for bringing that up. Tony is here. Great to see you. Tomb of Arminius. Great to see you. Waylon. Great to see you. Brad C. Wonderful to see you. James is here. Jason. Great name. Great to see you. All right, folks. Okay, good. We didn't miss anybody. I think we got it all. We're going to roll out, folks. 1 hour from now. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. 1 hour from now, the Mondays are for the Dragons begins. Mondays for the Dragons begins. And I will be there with all of you. So look for me. Say hello. And let's go free.